Faith isn't comfort. Being faithful to God is not meant to be comfortable. You question when God shows up. You question why God puts you through a storm. The things that we have to do during a storm are going to be uncomfortable. The pain that we go through in a storm isn't meant to create comfort. It's to create us to change, grow closer to God. So this week, guys, on Chasing Happiness podcast, we're going to talk about how faith isn't comfort. Flat out, there is nothing comfortable about faith. In today's society, we're not going political. It is boiled down to is either you believe in God or you don't. And if you do believe in him, you are not a great person. You are the devil. You're all these other things. Totally untrue. But what can you do about it? No, you can actually fight back, do it right. People that don't believe in God, I love having those discussions with them just for the simple fact I like to hear their thoughts. I saw, it was either this week or last week, I saw somebody post that there's no historical data showing that Jesus ever walked on the face of the earth. But then he couldn't back it up. He just said, everything I found doesn't say Jesus ever lived on the earth. There's no such thing as Jesus, no such thing as God. And I think it's Pastor Warren that said it. It's harder to be, it's harder to be an atheist than it is to be a Christian, because that takes some serious faith. I might have messed up the quote, but that's where my head is at. So guys, faith is not meant to be comfortable. You're having faith in a person that walked on the face of this earth many years ago that you have no relationship with physically, and you can't have a conversation back and forth. I'm being a little bit hypothetical. But in the end, you're putting faith into somebody that you've never met and you don't know and you've never physically seen. Doesn't play well in today's society. Today's society is all about instant gratification. But what can we do when we're in the midst of a storm? And I know we're going back to storm. We've talked about it for several weeks. I'm staying on it. What's the worst case scenario, or let's say 3 worst case scenarios that would actually happen if you had faith during a storm and you believed in Jesus and God? What are worse things that could happen? I'm going to be sarcastic and say, here are the 3 things that I think could happen. 1, you can have peace during the storm. Not saying it's going to go away, not saying it's going to get easier, but at least you can have peace during the storm while you're going through it. God and Jesus is by your side. He walks through the valley with you. 2, you draw closer to him. You draw closer to God and Jesus. You put your face in the good book. You're reading it. You're working on yourself. It's the change that he's looking for. 3, you're anxious. You're unsettled. You have problems. Having faith quiets your mind. I know it does for me. But the one thing you can take away from this is, and I said this last week, God never said, or Jesus, however you want to go with this, never said we were put on the face of this earth to have an easy life. Not the case. But he did say that he would be there through thick and thin, get us through it, and not let our boat sink. Everything's brought into our lives for a reason, and we have to figure that out. One of those reasons, and I'm digressing a little bit this week, guys, because I'm falling back into last week's episode and following up on it, is purpose. I had people reach out and say, my job is my purpose. That's great. If that's your purpose, then what are you doing about it? How are you helping people in your job? Not very good answers coming back, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. But most people think their job is their purpose. It actually isn't. Think of how many people go to college and don't actually use their college degree in their job. Their skill sets are not being, their God-given skill sets are not being used in their job. And I'm not saying college gave you those skill sets. You were born with these skills. People struggle throughout their life, me included, finding that God-given talent that you have and be able to put it to use. I think I have several. One are these podcasts, having conversations with you guys, but then also helping others in a mindset when it comes around money and it comes around finances. I've had my struggles with finances, and I want to be able to share those struggles and how I work through them with others. You're not alone. You're in the boat together. You're rowing the oars together. And if I can help people save, get out of debt, buy a home, pay cash for vacations, and put away enough money for retirement to where they never have to worry about it. And if they want to send their kids to college, they pay cash for it or use these, I think they're called Trump accounts now. But those are the things that I want to help people with. But if you don't have a purpose other than your job, where does that leave you? Where does it take you? Oh, wait, you have a family. You got to take care of your family. That's great. I think that's a noble thing. Be a great husband, a great wife, a great mother, a great father. Those are all great things. But there's still talents that you're probably not using that God gave you. And you need to be using them. And it's not always at your job. There are some people that do have that ability to have a job where they're using their God-given talents. By all means, yes. But most of us are not. Because faith isn't comfortable. Faith isn't comfort. There's nothing comfortable about having faith in God and Jesus, because you are going to be looked at differently by society. You're trying to live by a different set of rules. You're trying to live by what's in the good book. Society is all about me. Let me go get those things that I can't take with me when I die. But I'm going to go get all these things while I'm alive to show everybody that I've got this great life. Ends up being their life is in the crapper. And it's tough. But how do we learn? We learn by reading the good book, connecting with others that are in the faith, but also finding like-minded people that you can have conversations with. 4 people that need to be in that small group of yours to support you through thick and thin. Maybe find 5, whatever that size of that small group is. That's your accountability group. But when anxiety's running high, you're stressed out, you can't sleep, where do you go? Do you go binge watch on Netflix? Or do you open up the Bible and read a couple passages that are your favorite, that help calm your mind, that bring peace so you can go to sleep? For me, guys, it's about, I read Deuteronomy 8, and I mentioned this last week. I read that every single day in the morning before I start, because that is ultimately is going to get my mind in the right set. I understand it. I relate to it because I know it's me. So I want to make sure that I'm reading it, connecting, quieting my mind, and getting focused for my day. Maybe you need to find a passage for yourself. Maybe you need to go for a walk or a run and have that conversation with God. When's the last time you prayed? Every single day, every morning, I pray, probably for 20 or 30 minutes. It's on a walk, just having a conversation, listening, just letting things flow. You got to do that, and you got to get connected to yourself. You got to get connected to yourself so you can get connected to God. Because if you don't know where yourself is at, how are you going to be able to work with God? And God can help you do those things. But if you're not in if you're not in the right place, how do you accomplish any of this? Or lastly, and I know we're wrapping up here, lastly, if you don't put any effort into making the change while you're in the storm, and you continue to see storm after storm, when do you step back and say, there's something wrong here, I need to do something different, and let's take a look at it? And maybe you start reflecting from the inside out and having those conversations with God to see where everything goes. But you have to have an honest conversation with yourself.